One of my favorite crypto coins that I'm most excited about for the next bull run is Stellar XLM. And when I say next bull run, I basically mean the next upcoming 6 months or so, as this is where I expect most of my top altcoins to be in their best moment, in their peak performance, where they do their crazy numbers. I mean, we all know the crypto market has ebbs and flows, ups and downs, and I believe right now we are at the start of the massive up. A couple of coins like XLM have already done some pretty good numbers, but I personally think they'll be doing better. And so today, I will not be sharing you some interesting thoughts about why I think XLM could be a great value, about the perspective that it's still super cheap. It's not. XLM has done some really great numbers over the past couple of days, and funnily enough, out of all the coins we have traded on this channel over the past couple of weeks, XLM has actually been the most profitable one. Not in terms of dollars, that would definitely have to be XRP, as our trade here is still up $400,000, but I mean in terms of returns, because XLM has just been crazy. But that marks the question, and I get this all the time. Is this the end for it then? Is this where XLM has peaked and will only start falling, or is this the start of an entirely new wave? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am not your financial advisor. Everything I'll be talking about in this video is just my opinion, and I'm obviously slightly biased. I hold this crypto, but understand also that I'm not encouraging you to do anything. I'm not giving you any guarantees, nor is it my goal to make you buy. All I want to do is make you understand what I'm going to be doing. And for XLM, it's pretty freaking simple. So over the past couple of days, XLM has peaked out at roughly 50 cents or so, which we all can understand is a pretty logical barrier. And like we can see over the past couple of days, actually a little bit over a week or so, we've been consolidating. We've been retesting the 50 cent area, but we're refusing to make a break, either towards the top or towards the bottom. I mean, as this was happening, we kind of already expected something of this sort to happen, with the idea that the moment it breaks, specifically if it's supported by Bitcoin, that basically means that at the time it happens, Bitcoin is not crashing. Because if Bitcoin is crashing, it tends to make every other single coin fall down as well. But so if you're asking for the most important level to watch, I'd say 50 cent, or on the opposite side, and you don't want to base anything on Bitcoin, it is going to be around the 45 cent mark. Hitting it, not that big a deal, but actually getting ourselves a close or staying below that level for a while would not be in our best interest on the short term. We are again more so looking for a breakout towards the upside, so hopefully we get ourselves a little bit of extra time above 50 cents, getting ourselves a new local high and just start building from there. But then how high can it go? How high do I expect the XLM price to hit over the next couple of weeks, months, days, whatever? Now, in my own humble opinion, we have been doing well here, but it's actually still quite sad. I mean, XLM has done some pretty good numbers throughout this week, but really, that's it. It's done good 1 week, one pretty good candle. And if we take a look back in November, the price actually back then went to like 65 cents. So from that angle, it's done good, but then if you look back at 2021, it was actually way higher. And if you look back at 2017, 2018, from all that, the numbers we are seeing right now really are good, but not groundbreakingly good, and kind of like its twin coin, its twin brother XRP, in this little same time, has actually been performing significantly greater as it just beat an all-time high, while XLM couldn't even get close to the daily or even weekly high, right? It's still like 50%, if not 100% more gains to go. Similarly, if you take a look at XLM following a Bitcoin chart, so this is the performance from XLM versus Bitcoin, meaning if you'd held Bitcoin, right, or XLM, which one would have done better? Well, over time here, since the peak in 2018, XLM versus Bitcoin has actually gone down 94%, meaning throughout this time, at this point, Bitcoin was $20,000 and XLM was, let's say, $1 or so. Bitcoin has from that $20,000 mark gone all the way to $120,000, so times about 6. XLM has gone from $1 or something like that to roughly 50 cents, right? Slightly below it. So in this time, XLM would have been way worse than Bitcoin, but here's the kicker. In the 2021 run, we really didn't see much of it at all. Not really any crazy sort of run. We kind of expect that this was probably because of the Ripple lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC, and that some sort of redemption rally is going to be coming. And when you take a look at it from this angle, XLM has been doing nice, sure, but it really didn't make any dent in the system whatsoever. It really has not been put back on the map, and if you take a look at the socials, indeed, not that many people are talking about it. So do we expect it to hit the glory days? Do we expect it to break a new high versus Bitcoin? Not necessarily, but we don't need to hit that. If we take a look at my trades, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll say two things first. If you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. And second of all, if you're looking for a platform to trade on, the bots I'm going to be talking about right now are right here on Payonix. That's where I'm trading them on. And just my normal trading, I mostly do on Blowfin. It's basically where I've got the bigger XRP trade, etc. Pretty cool platform. But let's now talk quickly about my XLM bot. If we go ahead and take a little bit of a look, let's quickly scroll through. Here, by the way, is my 10K to $1 million challenge to XRP, doing pretty good as well. Here we go. We put 10K in about 70 days ago. It was at a massive loss, and right now we are up about $30,000 on it. If we take a look at it from this perspective, we opened this at 30 cents, right now we at 47, and we've basically quadrupled our money. Really, when you start looking at it from this angle of, hey, how much gains can we do even if we only go back to a certain amount? It's actually pretty insane. For example, if we were to go from right now 45 cents towards the 90 level, you can kind of grasp we'd still be up multiple hundreds or at least 100K. And really when I started thinking about it from that angle, if we were to think of XLM going back to the glory days, the amount of gains we'd have to see then is pretty severe. I mean, as you can see right here, it'd be plus about 1700%, so about an 18x return or so from here, which obviously is a bit too much to ask for, going to, let's say, $9 or something like that from these levels. But then the funniest thing is also, if Bitcoin were to double, that would not only lead to $9, it would lead to $18 to get XLM back in a certain rate, right, at the previous rate. We always like to say, don't look at peak, look at like a little bit of the average of the two. So in this case here, if we take the 2021 run, it's only up like 400%. The other one is like 1800. Let's stay somewhere in the middle, right? Even more towards the bottom, more inclined towards the bottom. We say, you know what, we're going to go for this number right here, about 700% gains. That would mean that XLM from here would do an 8x or so, going from, let's say, 45 cents, 50 cents to what? $4? Let's just put it at that. And then the funny thing is, if Bitcoin doubles, goes to 250,000, we put $8 so on XLM as, here comes the kicker, the baseline, right? That is the baseline for what I kind of expect XLM to do over this run. Just getting some of that dominance back, not peak, because there are many more altcoins, and you do not know if this will be a full utility season where all these coins pop off again. But I feel as if a lot of people have been sleeping on the utility coins, and this time around, once ETH breaks, XRP is going to continue on and go for a run. XLM, 𝗕𝗏𝗀, a lot of those coins will probably see some beautiful, beautiful moves again, get themselves a better grip in the market. But again, if we just use that as a max for right now, just for calculation purposes, just going from these levels, right? Or if we take this previous 4-hour XLM versus dollar chart, you can really start to understand that if we start going here, it is not a very quick road towards those high levels. Why? Because we have not seen it in many years. Last time, even in the beginning of 2025, basically the end of 2024, we only went slightly higher than the prices we are seeing. And so for the most part, you cannot see the road there quickly. So for a lot of people, what I'm going to say here, like $6, $5, $4, it sounds like gibberish. They're like, no, Dusty, it's way too far. But the thing is, if you really take a look at how Bitcoin has done, or even XRP or XLM in previous runs, it is not that crazy to see 40%, 30% gains or so within a day. And really, once you start adding a few of those up, which are not that crazy for just daily performances, one daily move of 30%, and we're at 60 cents, right? Another day, which again happens very often, multiple days in a row, we are at 80 cents, and then you can understand what I'm trying to say right here, right? Another 25% move, 22%, we're at $1, and from there, it's really gonna start stacking. Because this was just, for example, now 3 days or maybe 4 days in a row, where all of a sudden, the start seems kind of slow, but this could happen in just a few days. Maybe then you correct a little bit, but then, if I said before, we think the high is gonna be somewhere in the next 6 months, it's really not that crazy to dream of maybe a 10x, maybe slightly higher than that, because you've got potentially multiple weeks where more people come in, more people come in, more people come in. They still want to get the opportunity and realize that just because you're buying high right now at 47 cents, which is relatively high to where it was the last couple of weeks or months, doesn't mean in the grand scheme of things it is really that high. For XLM, I think a lot of people are not that eager to sell. You might say, yeah, but the high. I think there will be some resistance at the all-time high. and potentially at $1 because it's such an interesting mark. But for the rest, most people that are buying in really are looking for way higher gains. I'm talking like $20, $30, $40 in XLM. I don't think they'll be too satisfied with just $3, $4. They will not be selling that quickly. Most people want to hold for multiple years that buy this coin. And so you have a beautiful dynamic there where a lot of people are coming in. They're getting part of the culture of, oh, this is going to go very, very far over a longer period of time. XLM, XRP, a lot of these utility coins don't have as many people who like to sell quickly. They hold on slightly longer if you look at the average hold time. Right now, it's doing pretty well, right? It's basically doing some pretty good numbers in terms of percentages without any real retail here. We are retail, sure, but not really, right? It's mostly the people that don't even know what a crypto is. They just buy it because their friend told them about it. They're not really here just quite yet. And then mostly only start to get in after we've seen multiple of these daily candles, 30s and 40% in a day. And I really think the majority of people that will make a good amount of money on this run with XLM, for example, will only start buying in around the $2, maybe $3 mark. And that's why I said before, really, $4 right now sounds far away. But when XRP was, for example, trading at 10 cents, I made many videos as well, or let's say 17 cents, 10 cents, of saying, oh, $3, $3. And many people said it will never get back there. But then you realize, well, it actually got there in the past, and now it's above $3.50. I keep saying, well, $30, $20. People keep saying, well. It only is far until you get close. That sounds generic, but it's true. With XLM here as well, it's quite low relative to wherever it's been at in the past and in previous bull runs. Altcoins really do a lot of gaining versus Bitcoin, especially when they are a bit in the season. In this case here, if we see some more of a utility run. There's the potential that XLM doesn't get picked up at all. Nobody cares about utility coins and it's just, for example, memes, just AI, just this, that, possibility. But if it does, if the usual happens for this crypto run as well, I do not think the prices I just outlined are really that crazy. And besides my normal XLM trades, I'm also just going to keep stacking this one probably. I even thought about compounding it, which I could do, which would be pretty nice because the gains have been okay, but you can probably up it a little bit. Because as I said before, at these prices, I am still just buying every single day. All these coins you see on my channel, I just keep buying them because I think for the local, for the last weeks, for the recent times, it's high. But for the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, in my opinion, it is still quite low. It is hard to see that beforehand. But once you start zooming out, it becomes easier and easier to see. If you just always bought Bitcoin and shut up, right? Oh, but Bitcoin is still high. It's at 117,000. If you zoom out, we just take a look at Bitcoin's chart. Anywhere, if you ever just bought, even if you bought a local high, even if you bought the top of the top, it would have still been fine in the end. Only in the short term do you hate yourself, maybe. And here we go again. Even right now, somebody probably bought at $121,800 of Bitcoin. He's not loving his life right now because the price is going down ever so slightly. But probably in 2 months or so, since we'll be at significantly higher prices, he'll think, oh, you know what? If I had just kept it up, kept continuing to buy, it would have probably been a pretty good idea. And the same applies to these alts. XLM has gone on such a monstrous rally over the past week. It was up 90% or so in a very short amount of time. Almost nobody could be down on XLM right now unless you bought the 𝗕𝗂𝘁𝑎 top and then never decided to DCA, but who does that? And I think a similar sort of atmosphere will replace itself here again, where even if the price goes down, if we continue it up, since XLM always is in the spotlight, just sometimes not in the top of the top, but always pretty high up there, I think the probability of losing completely on XLM is quite small. The only question is, will another coin outperform? But that's not that important for the question. I still think XLM is going to at least see some of these prices. And I'm saying that as a baseline. There are potential scenarios for XLM at 10, 15, like we just established. If we were to just go back to Bitcoin's old dominance, that's already just an 18x. So putting that at $9. Bitcoin to double, that's like $18, maybe $20 for XLM, which again is possible just going back to old levels. But we don't want to stick too close to that. We want to stay a little bit more conservative. And I'm saying like, if it doesn't even hit $5, something really went heavily wrong. And I think personally, if you can't make a significant return off of a 10 or 12x or so in a bull run, where again, the mood should already be in there, that's on you. Those are my thoughts though. I'm just letting them go because I've done this video when XLM was 1/5 the value and people always laugh. Now we've already done, I think I've made so many hundreds of videos on XLM. I've probably made a video at every single one of the price points, always saying the same thing. And people only listen when the price has actually gone up a few 100%. Then they're like, oh, yeah, I see it. When things are down, and I consider this to be down still. No, they don't like to hear it. It's only once things are pumped. Now people are asking me, should I sell because it's high? I still think it's quite low. And then once the price is up high, everybody gets excited again and they're asking me if they should be buying. It's funny how it goes, but we do not know where it's going to be today or tomorrow or the next few days or weeks. All we know is where this is going over time. Still not a guarantee. I'll never do that, but this is what I think. Yeah, that's about it. Like I said before, if you're looking for some links, here's where I'm trading the bots on. It's all pretty freaking simple, and my normal trading over on Bluefin. Check it out. Links are down below. I'll see you guys again in another one.